All right, roll 'em, Ferndyke.
All right. Hey, welcome back to yet another episode of Road Noise. Glad you're hanging out with us. Hey, if you're finding these encouraging and you just enjoy hanging out with Dad and I would really appreciate it. I'm sure Dad would too if you hit us the 5 star wherever you're getting this, whether it's on over on Apple or Spotify or whatever. Hit a review. It helps boost the awareness for other folks that are looking for the podcast. And if you are watching us, hanging out with us on YouTube, leave us a comment, hit a thumbs up. We'd love to engage with you there too. So, well, Dad, we
And
didn't
hit the
have a
share
chance.
button.
Yeah, and hit the share button. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, share with a friend. That's actually probably if you did anything, that would be the biggest help is to share this with a friend. Yeah, Dad, we didn't have a chance to really talk about where we're going tonight, so I'm
No,
looking.
but if I had a friend, I'd share it.
Yeah, well, I expect that email then.
Well, today I'm thinking let's not go too far. Let's stay fairly close to home. I want to take us back in time. I don't know, it's obviously quite some time ago because we had the bus and we are doing a vacation Bible school at a church that was really kind of a treat in the fact that it was close enough to home that we could drive back and forth. And that doesn't happen very often. Typically in the summer, we would go farther away and do churches that we couldn't do during the school year. And so, doing a vacation Bible school close to home was a real treat. We get to sleep on our own beds and so forth. Well, anyway, so this was an evening Bible school, and the church that we were at, see if I can paint a picture here, sits on a corner, but it's an old church, and I'm guessing it was built before they put anything of a decent road in front of it. Because now um, there's just about the only room they have is for the sidewalk, and then you're in the street. I mean, it's right on the corner. So the only parking for the church, you can't park in front of it because you would be in the road. But they do have a parking lot on the back side. And so that's where we were parked. And so we're on this corner. We get this main road in front of the church. And then on the side of the church is a side road. And we're parked there in the back. Well, the church had made arrangements that every night before Bible school, there would be somebody in the church that would have all of us, you know, all the teens and all of us at their house for supper. And those were always fun events to go to. I mean, the food was always great, but I really get a little uncomfortable doing those because you get in somebody's home and everything's supposed to be ready, dinner's in the oven but it's not quite done yet, and so we're going to have to wait. And I mean, things can get out of hand, and next thing you know you're running late, and you got Bible school to do, and it's like we got to hurry up and get out of here. Well, anyway, so to kind of avoid some of that, anytime we're in a situation like that, we try to get to the church early, get everything set up so that in the event we get back to the church just in time, at least everything is all ready to go. And so we'd gotten to the church early, had everything set up, and now it's time to head to the address that they've given us to go to go to these folks for supper. So we're pulling out on the side road, and we have to stop and let a semi go by. And he's headed on that side road out towards the main road, and he's going to make a left-hand turn. Well, he goes by, but there's another car right behind him, and so we've got to wait for that car to go. And so they're past us now, and I pull up. Oh, the truck had to stop. Okay, so he stopped, and the person behind him stopped, and now we're behind them. So there's three vehicles sitting here waiting to get out onto the main road. Well, the driver of the semi, you can't really see what's coming on the main road until you get out there quite a ways because the church is blocking the view. And so he had pulled out far enough to see, only to find out, okay, I'm out here too far. There's traffic coming, and there's no way I can get out on through here. So I'm going to have to back up. I think you know where this is going. That poor semi driver puts it in reverse and he starts to back up. The car in front of us, I don't think they really saw him coming. And so, oh, but I did. And so I quick put it in reverse and I'm backing up just about the time the back end of the semi goes crashing right over the hood of the car in front of me. Oh my. I mean, he couldn't see that car. And, you know, this lady was close behind him. So I'm sure that when he looked in his rearview mirror, he saw me, but I'm back there a ways. So he figured he had plenty of clearance. Well, that wasn't the case. Obviously, he knew he hit something, and so he stopped, and it had pushed her backwards a few feet. So I was glad I had backed up. So he gets out of the truck and he comes walking up the side to see, okay, what did I run into? And so he's about halfway to this lady when she jumps out of the car and she's panicked. I mean, she is scared to death. I mean, she just almost died, almost got run over by a semi. You know, she wasn't hurt or anything. I will have to say that the front end of her car was a pretty huge mess. But other than that, she was fine, and I got out and so forth. Uh, I don't know to this day who it was that called the police, but we hadn't been standing there, the three of us, very long until the police showed up, and it was really pretty obvious what had happened and so forth. But of course, the police had to interview me, and did you see what happened? Were you a witness here to And so I told them exactly what I saw, and that pretty much confirmed what was obvious. That this truck didn't see her, and there she was. And she was upset because she had just gotten home from work, and she had just gotten off from work and was heading home to get supper ready for her family. And of course, now this is going to be a delay. Meanwhile, the police are done with me. They're saying, thanks for sticking around, but no need for you to stay any longer. You can go ahead and leave. So we were still able to make it to the address where we were to be at for supper that night. Well, anyway, so no place to go. And I've often wondered if maybe sometimes we don't get ourselves in similar situations where we maybe do something and then we put ourselves in a corner or whatever it is, and there's no place to go. And it's like, okay, now what? And in those situations, I think it's, okay, Lord, help me here because I don't know where to go. I don't know if I have any place to go. And so it's time to call on the Lord. In her case, I don't think she had time to do much of anything. But in any case, I was reminded of Psalm 32, verse 7, where it talks about, where David is talking and he says, "You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance." How many times has God delivered us when possibly we weren't even aware of the situations that had put us in danger? Anyway, so that lady was afraid, but all she ended up with was a banged up car. No place to go.
Yeah, no, she was stuck between a rock and a hard place, so to
Yeah.
speak. Yeah, yeah, and that is a great reminder, and a helpful metaphor to think about all those times when we are maybe stuck between a rock and a hard place. And Psalms are they're so full of those great reminders of the Lord is my refuge and my strength. Yep. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Well, if tonight we're talking about fear and no place to go and so forth, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I've got a fear of speed bumps,
Hmm.
but I'm slowly getting over it. I also have a fear of elevators, but I'm taking steps to avoid it.
Oh, come on.
All right, well, let's put this thing in
Uh,
park and get out of here.
yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll pick it up again next week.